He's gone today. That's all he told me.
Elliot?
Yeah, he told me he'd be gone today. Yeah. So. All right. So number one here, what you guys can see is, first of all, like I said, we do have, and we have a y in here, so we're going to have to do what's called implicit differentiation. It doesn't really change much, though. We do have to put an extra term in there, though, to help us remember what we are taking the derivative of. So, for example, the derivative of 3x is what? 3, but we took the derivative of x, so we're going to put down a dx here. Okay, for the next one, derivative of 4y cubed, same concept, is going to be 12y squared, and then that would be a dy. All right, derivative of 2 would just be a 0, and whenever it's 0, we don't have to worry about dy or dx there. All right, now from here, we have to get this, we have to find dy over dx. All right, so what a lot of people do is they would get the x's on one side and the y's on the other side right away. So then you don't have to worry about it. But we're going to have to do that for this one no matter what. So I'm going to subtract this 12y squared over to the other side. And then once we have the dy's and the dx's separated, then we can divide this side by dx, divide this side by dx. So then we'd have 3 equals negative 12y squared dy over dx, which is what we're looking for here. And then we just have to get this dy dx all by itself. So we'd subtract, or we'd divide by negative 12y squared. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Because we didn't take the derivative of x with each one of the terms. This one, we took the derivative of y. That makes sense? When we divided it over, like the dx over, we just wanted to get the dx over to the other side to get this dy dx all by itself. So we're just going to leave that 3 there. It's no different than when you have like this formula here. We're going to divide by 3 to get the x by itself. We want to leave the 3 there this time, get the dx over to the other side. All right, so our answer for this ends up being dy over dx, which you guys know means we took the derivative of 3 over negative 12y squared. And that's it. All right. Any other questions there that you see?
You don't have to simplify that.
You can if you want. You don't have to. All right, number 2 then. Help me out. Help me through the steps here. What would you do first? Okay, so derivative of 3x squared is what? Close. What goes after it? 6x dx. All right, plus derivative of the next term is what, Jacob?
2y dy.
There you go, 2y dy. And derivative of the last term, Toby? 0. All right, what do we got to do next? Yep, get the y's or the x's over to the other side. Doesn't matter which one, because one of them's going to turn negative here. All right, and then what you guys will start doing is you'll divide this by dx, divide this by dx, and divide by negative 2y. You'll do all that at the same time. So dy over dx equals 6x over negative 2y. All right, chances are this is one that the book would simplify down. So negative 3x over y. All right. You do not have to simplify though. All right, any questions there? Think you got it? All right, let's try the next page here. Abby, what would you do first here? Okay, so what is that? Right, this would be a 3x squared dx. All right, Asti, what's next? What would you do next? Okay, what's this turn into? 8y dy. And the other one is just a 4 dy. Even though the y goes away, it's very important that the dy stays there because that tells us what to do with the 4. All right, so next we got to get the dy's on the same side. So I'm going to subtract this 4 over here. So we've got 8y dy minus 4 dy equals 3x squared dx. All right, now, what do you think we got to do from here? Anybody? We got to take the dy out, yeah. So we're going to factor that dy out there. So we've got 8y minus 4 times dy equals our 3x squared dx. And now we're down to the same spot as we were before. We're going to divide by dx here. And then divide by 8y minus 4 on both sides. So dy over dx equals 3x squared over 8y minus 4. All right, so even though we had multiple y terms there, the only extra step that we truly did here was we still got to get the y's on the same side, the x's on the other side, and then we're just going to factor out that dy. All right, so number 4, go ahead and try it. It's pretty much the same concept as what we just did. So I believe you should get 5 over 10y minus 2. All right, any questions there at all? Ethan, any questions?
No.
No? Asti would like me to take your phone though. Don't have phone out. Asti just told me she wants me to be fair towards everybody else. That's all you ever said.
You said that like 5 times. Heard it, sick of it.
Okay, congratulations.
Never said that.
Actually, you did. But you wanted me to go the other way. If Ethan can have his phone out, then I should be able to have mine out.
Where's my phone?
You didn't just have it out, checking yourself out in your camera?
I was fixing that today.
Oh. All right, so how are these a little bit different than the last ones? What do you see up there? They have X, Y together. So we're gonna have to do a product rule here, aren't we? All right, so a little bit more complicated, pretty much all the same steps. We're just combining what we just learned with previous knowledge. So for this first term, this would be a -4 dy plus, and then we've got to do product rule here. So this would first be derivative of the first times the second. So what this turns into is this is an 8xy squared. Was that a dx or a dy? What did we take the derivative of? We took the derivative of the x, so this has got to be a dx. And then plus the derivative of the second. So this would be an 8x squared y. And we took the derivative of the y here. So this would be a dy. These are really easy to completely forget about, putting the dy and dx terms up there. All right. And then we've got our last term. So this would be 8x dx. All right. Once we get through product rule here, then it's all the same stuff. So we got to get the x's and the y's on the same side. So this dx we're going to bring over here. So this would be -4 dy plus 8x squared y dy equals dx minus 8xy squared dx. All right, from there, got to factor out the dy's. So dy times 8x squared y minus 4 equals dx times 8x minus 8xy squared. And then we just have to solve for dx. So we're going to divide by dx and divide by this term on the left side there. And there you go. All right, so can do product rule, can do quotient rule, can do chain rule, any one of those you could see while doing this stuff. You just got to break it into parts here. So go ahead, do number 6. All right, I'm pretty sure that's what you should get when you're done, so take a look. And as you guys get more comfortable with this, you'll skip some steps, kind of like what I did here. The hard thing about one of the worst things that I remember about taking calc in college is professors would constantly skip steps the first time they teach it, kind of like I did here, instead of laying everything out the first time around. So then you're sitting there thinking, what the heck did you just do?
So they expect you to know the thing that they're supposed to teach you.
Well, they expect you to know all the shortcuts and to quicken everything up before you even learned it.
But
So
when we're doing derivatives, they don't let us use the short.
yeah, no. Well, I don't know what you do with this. I think they'd have to let you use shortcuts with this. All right. Any questions on what you see up here?
Oh, that'll be 2 answers.
What do you mean 2 answers?
Like depending on which one.
Well, yeah. Well, not necessarily 2 answers, but if for what you're saying, Ethan, you could have 4 minus y cubed over 3xy squared minus 4. You're just going to have to know that this is equivalent to that. It's just that we took a negative factor to -1 out, or like you said, it depends on which way you go. All right. So if you have to show all your work, then yes, I have to know both answers and all the simplified versions of each answer. So make sure you show your work. All right. Any questions at all here? All right, last page. So on the left side up there, what do you see that we're gonna have to do? Yeah, because there's an exponent, there's a term inside that exponent, or an expression inside that exponent. We're gonna have to do chain rule for that. Okay, so here we go. So we've got y equals u squared, and then u equals 3. Sorry, not 3. I was already doing the derivative. Y cubed plus 1. All right, so y prime. Technically, if we wrote this all out right, this would be 2u du. All right, and then this u prime, would be 3y squared dy. All right, now what happens with this is we've never written down this du before, because what happens when we multiply these two together, there's a du, I think this whole thing would be du. All right, so this would make this end up going away. That's why we've never written it down before. Okay, so you still don't have to. You still don't have to put that du down there at all. All right, but just to kind of tie the two things together. So y prime here is 2 times y cubed plus 1 times 3y squared dy. And that's all for the derivative of this one side here. All right, so I'm going to clean this up a little bit. We're going to go 6y squared times y cubed plus 1 times dy. So that's the left side. The right side is just a 10 dx. Sorry, 5 dx. All right, and then we're just gonna get dy and dx on the same sides. We're dividing by dx, and then we're dividing by all that stuff on the left side. And there's our answer. All right. So a little bit more complicated answer there, but like I said before, we're just tying everything together here. All right, so go ahead and try number 8. So what you guys got? All right, yeah, go ahead and finish. All right, so as I said, as we kind of proved here on this page, we can do chain rule with it. Last page, we did product rule. You can definitely do quotient rule with it too. You can do it for trig functions, logarithmic functions. All of the stuff that we've done, you can do this for, okay? They can get super complicated. That's why it used to be just one class in college. So just keep those other rules in mind as you're going through this. But that's it for today. So any questions you guys see for me right now? I got a worksheet for you. Yeah. All right. So, Caden, your worksheet is already on Schoology. You can just grab it there and get it done and turned in. And the rest of you, I have a worksheet ready to go here.